Welcome back to Daytime, and as promised, we've got more with our friend Neil Crone. Come on, Canadian actor, great. I said Canadian actor. Canadian actor. First question, are you rich? Now, as promised, and you know, my inner little boy, because you're reading at schools, would really like to hear the title story from, you know, your new book, Who Farted?
Who Farted? I'm at this stage, by the way. This has got to come off when I got to
Wow.
love that, eh?
It's a good look, but...
Neil Crone, aging Canadian actor.
It's okay. Hey, Gordon Pinsent still gets work. It's all good.
He does. He does. Here's Who Farted. I love this one. Who farted? Who farted? Say, who cut the cheese? Who started the stink that is blown in the breeze? Who shooted the toot that brought me to my knees? Can't somebody tell me, oh please? Who farted? Who farted? Man, who dropped a rose? Who made the nasty that's now in my nose? Who owns the backside from whence this arose? It follows wherever I goes. Who farted? Who farted? Whoa, who sliced the brie? Who launched the butt missile marked SBD? Whoever did that farts professionally. Hey, maybe it could have been me.
Oh, man.
Great job.
Come on.
SBD, gotta love those songs.
SBD.
Silent but deadly.
Silent but deadly.
Excuse me, are you rich and what's SBD?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, they know. Trust me, they're doing it in class.
Hey, we got to ask you too, because you were on 6 seasons of Little Mosque on the Prairie on another network.
Yeah, that other one.
Not that other one. But you know what? Legendary show. Very, very important. And we were talking just during the break about, wow, it must be really cool to be on what is really quite a groundbreaking show
Very cool
in Canadian history.
Yeah, I knew we'd done something right when I was out for dinner with friends one night in Toronto at an Indian restaurant.
Yeah.
And we're eating, talking away, and I noticed all of a sudden there's somebody standing beside me. I look over and there's this little Indian girl, about this high, and she's pressed up against her dad's legs. Her dad's behind her, kind of shoving her forward. And I look over and I smile at her, and her dad goes, "Honey, tell him what you wanted to say."
Yeah.
And she looks at me and she goes, "I really love you on your TV show."
Oh, how cool is that?
I knew they were Muslim because I looked over and the mom was sitting at the table.
Right
She
on.
had the hijab on, and I looked at her. I said, "You see what I do on the show, and you love me."
Yeah.
But it was such a wonderful moment because it was such a that show was very inclusive. It built a lot of bridges, and it was a real sweet show, which I'm not ashamed to be saying that was. I like that about it.
And you know, we were joking about Canadian actor, but how quintessentially Canadian to have a show post 9/11. Important time to be able to do something like this that you said was a nice, you know, portrait of.
And I think only Canadians could have handled it the way we handled it.
Right.
Too, you know, I don't think the Americans would have done a very different show. You
Right.
know, so.
Right. So you must be very proud of that work too.
I am.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, you know, reflecting back on 6 seasons, is there, you know, anything as an actor working on this series that you kind of picked up along the way?
Oh, you know, it was just so much fun. I mean, it was. I used to feel badly coming in after a day of work, you know, and trying to look like I was tired. You know, it was 12 hours of laughter. I mean, essentially, you came on and we just had a ball all day long. The nicest cast, the greatest crew, producers, just really from the ground up. It was almost a shame to take money for it. For sure. Almost. Wow. I say almost.
But you will, because you're a Canadian actor.
I will.
That's right, for sure. Well, and we got to ask you too, because you know you've lived a long time out here in Durham region. What's the best thing about living in Durham region?
Well, you know what?
You're very involved in our community, which is great.
Absolutely.
The little column that I write, I mean, gives me so much pleasure because of the feedback that I get from people. I mean, I've done a billion TV shows and films and all the rest of it and stuff, but the stuff that the highest compliment that I've ever had in my career was, in my life, was somebody told me, they said, "We took your column and we put it on our fridge." We clipped it out and put it on our fridge. And that to me is like, that's the highest accolade you can possibly get. And that's what I love. Like the people in Durham region, the feedback that I get on almost a weekly basis from people is so uplifting and so wonderful that I wouldn't trade it for all the world.
Yeah.
It's just great.
You know, where do you find your inspiration for? Because I know it's a lot of editorial, you know, a little humor in there, right? So where do you find your inspiration? You know, is daytime host going to be making an appearance?
Well,
I'm on this show.
talk about
Hump Month today.
We're going to talk about Hump Month, and
It's great. I mean, I kind of have carte blanche with the column, which I'm so lucky to have, and so I just kind of look around my world, and starting with in my house, in my family, and kind of go out from there in concentric rings, and whatever strikes me as being important that week, or funny, or whatever, or touching, that's generally where I can go, and so it's something that always kind of lands in my lap.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Well, we got to tell, so Neil, where can we get this great book? I'll say it one more time.
You'll say it more than one more time.
Well, when all else fails, whofarted.ca, we have a website.
Right on.
Where you can order the book from. It's also available, I believe, it'll be at Blue Heron Books in Uxbridge.
Oh, that's a great bookstore.
Shelley, my good friend Shelley, and in Books Galore and More in Port Perry, where I'm currently living.
Right on.
Yeah.
So what's it like living up in the port?
Love the port.
It's great,
Yeah,
isn't
we're
it?
coming into the best season, too.
You sure are. Fantastic.
Right.
Well, you know what? Like, it's been such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Oh, thank you, guys.
For so
My
many
pleasure.
reasons.
Yes.
Such a great member of our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, and once again, you got to say the title of the book because people, I know you're loving this.
Seriously, just hand me my pink slip at
I'm
the
just
end of the show,
prompting
folks.
him. I got it.
I almost said the other network's name, and I said Who Farted on the Air. It's all good. It's a great, great book. Seriously, Neil, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Great to meet you.
My pleasure.
Lots more daytime coming up after this short break.